morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Good. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. And welcome everybody to the Time to Shine Happiness Show. This is Thanksgiving week. Yay!
Woo! Yes, and I'm glad you said that, Barbara, because it is a time that for everybody does Thanksgiving, and I'm always going to remind people, just because we have that official day, quote unquote, that doesn't mean that takes you out of 364 days of the year.
Exactly. And I am going to promote one little thing. Today is Be Kind to a Stranger Day.
Oh.
And spread some love. And just do a random act of kindness for somebody that you do not know. Buy them coffee, pay a toll, whatever it is. I mean, the thing is, though, you can give out smiles and you can give out hugs. And I'm going to tell a story. One day I was in a class and it was one of those, okay, people, you must get out of your comfort zone to do certain things. So once in a while, you have to push yourself to get out of your comfort zone. So the challenge is that you had to go out and hug a stranger.
Oh.
What? Seriously? You want us to hug a stranger? But so how do you hug a stranger? Well, you just go up to them and say, "Hi, I'm doing an exercise that I have to hug a stranger. Would you be willing to be hugged?" They will look at you absolutely like, "What?" But then they'll smile and say, "Yes." People are missing being hugged.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because I mean a lot of people want hugs nowadays because of what we've been dealing with.
What we've been through. I mean, remember we talked last year? We talked about where you go to hug somebody. It's like, oh right, yeah, we're not supposed to hug. Now we've got to go back to hugging.
We're slowly getting back.
Go back to hugging. So get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, but still be safe. I'm going to put that out there.
Be safe.
We still have to. I mean, you can hug with a mask. I mean, if some people know that you're not, yeah. So, but yeah,
you're not going to be contagious hugging somebody, So, but yeah, so that's my thing for today. So, what's going on in your world?
Well, I'm glad that I'm going to kind of go into the kindness thing with you right now because what's going on in my world? I was very, very, very highly upset last week. I went to a networking online on Zoom. You won't believe this. So it was just a networking, group where you meet business women and all that stuff. And then they had like a speaker and everything. So I'm like, okay, I like that because I like to meet people. We both do that a lot, right? So, it's like different age groups, from 60 to 20 and everything. I'm like, oh, that's a good mixture too. Because you get to meet the millennials plus, everybody else.
Exactly.
Well, this lady comes out of nowhere, out the blue, because they were like, does anybody have any, anything to say or whatever? And this one lady, she was like in her 20s. The lady that spoke out, she was like, she was probably in her 50s, around my age. Yeah. And the 28-year-old, she had like streak purple hair, real pretty, right? I mean, she was just different. I mean, not different, like so wild out, but she just had a little different.
Doing her own thing.
Doing her own thing, So the lady comes off. She's like, well, I just have to say to the lady, I don't know her name, and with the purple hair or whatever like that. She said, you're not going to really become too much because you need to stop all that extra stuff. And I was like, Barbara, you should have seen the whole Zoom screen just was like in this. What did she? And Barbara, I'm sitting there like I was on mute, right? So I'm sitting there like, where's the mute? Where's the mute? I gotta take myself on mute. Before
I say something.
I had to say something, bro. I had to say something because that's like my pet peeve of being unique and how special you are. You got the gifts and all that kind of stuff. Exactly. And I finally found my new thing. Yeah, and I said, "How dare you?" I was just like, How dare you tell that individual, especially a young person? I mean, it's already
Right.
bad with the old, but a young, what is wrong with you? And I
Right.
want to say, get her out of here.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was just, I mean, saying all that, Barbara, it just reminds me over and over again how important your message is about, happiness, and my message about purpose
Yeah.
and understanding who you are. And I
You
don't
are.
care. God gave you a given gift. And if you want to be unique in that, because I give her so much kudos for doing the difference. Because we all
Exactly.
need to, like you said, stepping outside that box, doing what you want to do, doing what you feel comfortable in. And then you're
Right.
going to sit there and crush that by saying you're not going to get anywhere.
Right. Exactly. And with me, the thing that I say is that I want you to be the best ever version of you. That, energetic, well-toned, confident, caring version of you.
Yes. Yes.
And the other day I was at a store, and this poor manager, she was being reamed out by somebody on the phone. And came off the phone, and it was like, oh brother, I don't know this. It was just I don't know the situation. All I know was her reaction when she came off the phone, and was like, it had really hurt her. And then the other employee said, oh yeah, I can't believe that it was just such a hard situation. And I said, well, one of the things that we don't know where the other person was coming from. And I said, but you know what happens so often is that hurting people who are hurting within themselves, they'll automatically try to hurt somebody else.
Yeah.
That is that trend. It's like, if I can hurt somebody else, and I don't even think, and I truly choose to believe that we don't do it intentionally, because there have been times when we have all done it.
Oh yeah. And sometimes I even catch myself. Yeah.
Exactly. And we catch ourselves and go, ooh, that's not who I want to be. And yeah, Barbara, stop. Guard your lips. Guard your lips. Because we have to be the best version of ourselves, that higher version of ourselves. And I am so glad that you brought this up, because one of the things that I was going to share, you and I are just absolutely on the same wavelength. We really are. And it's going to be so nice with Karen, because I think she is going to be on the same wavelength as us too.
Yeah, I can't wait.
But I am reading this great book. It's called The Traveler's Gift. In fact, I have read it through, and now I'm reading it through again and studying it. Anyways, and it is on the 7 decisions of success.
Oh.
And I did a talk on it sometime. In fact, I really should do another talk on it sometime, of these 7 decisions of success. Well, the second decision of success is that I will seek wisdom. I will seek wisdom. So I just wanted to, I've got it right here.
Yeah. Good.
The person who ignores wise counsel is like the blade of grass that is untouched by the rain. It will soon wither and die. When I counsel with just myself, I can make decisions only according to what I already know. And how often have we said that? You can only make decisions with your brain, can only make a decision with what you already know. So by counseling with a wise man, I can add his knowledge and his experience to my own and dramatically increase my success. So I will seek wisdom. And I will be a servant to others. How does that, people go, well, being a servant to others and seeking wisdom, how do those two things go together? It absolutely makes such a difference. When you seek wisdom from one person, it comes into you, and then you put then you know that wisdom, and you can put it to somebody else.
Oh, that's good.
That's how we're meant to live. Yeah. That's and then in this case, he happens to be talking about wisdom. But what about what we just talked about? Let's have kindness. You get kindness from one person, you bring it into yourself, and you're kind to yourself, and then you can pass it on to the next person. We are meant to be a conduit.
Yeah. And see, and this is, I was going to go back because this is the funny part. I was going to go back to see that was wisdom. What you just did. You basically said, you know what, anything that comes through should go, you know, and that's what should happen all the time, Barbara. But a lot of times we stagnate ourselves and we be like staying over here saying, well, I don't want to say, I don't want to. And I was like, here we go again. What are you doing? It's supposed to be that continued
circle of life, that circle of kindness.
Yeah.
That circle of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And we, you know, like I think one of my favorite sayings that you've heard me say, you don't know what you don't know until somebody tells you something that you don't know. And plus, we cannot ever do life on our own.
Nope.
We have to do life with others.
I always say, Barbara, what you always tell us, there's 7 billion or whatever people in the world. Why would all these people be in the world so you can do something by yourself? I mean, to me, that's just common sense wisdom. It's like, okay, you got all these people around you, but no, I should be doing all by myself and be over here in my little corner, you know, in my little shack or whatever, my house. No, why do you think all these people are around here?
Right,
we're supposed to help each other.
Exactly, to help each other. So if you're struggling with something right now, reach out to someone. People love to help. People love to talk about what they're good at. That's where wisdom comes in. Find somebody that is good at what you want to learn and ask them. Hey, you know what? I want to learn how to do this. Like, I'm going to tell myself. I was watching, you know, like watching the pre-show, watching the little videos of that of your sponsors. I went, I need to have Barb make me a video. Yeah. I don't know how to do that. Yeah. I need to talk to Barb about getting me a video. I don't know how to do that. So, and plus, why? Okay, and then plus, I'm going to really tell myself, why would I possibly make myself crazy by trying to do it myself?
But we all been there, though, Barbara. I mean, how many times we said we spend time on Canva and everything else, and we're like, okay, why are we doing this to ourselves?
Why am I doing this?
So, yeah.
I mean, I just changed my banner for LinkedIn and for Facebook, and it was just that one little moment of inspiration. Oh, this is what I want to do. Put it up there. I love it. And I'm getting some positive feedback about them. A video? Are you kidding me? No, I wouldn't even know where to start. And why should I even try? But I should, and sometime eventually I might take a little course, but for right now, that's not in my bandwidth. Yeah. And that's what happens. Oh, well, I should learn how to do it for myself. Well, yeah, you could. Yeah. But right at this moment, do you have the bandwidth to do it with what you're already doing?
I'm kind of glad. Barbara, I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that, because, you know, it's nice to know. I mean, I always tell people, yeah, it's nice to know a basic thing of everything that's going on so you kind of get the feel of it. But sometimes that can become a distraction and an excuse for not getting stuff done too. Because you keep saying, well, it's nice to know someone to learn how to do that. It's nice to know someone to learn how to do that. It's nice to know someone to, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, you're still saying it's nice to know I'm going to learn that, but you're not learning it. And you're not getting anything done because you keep saying
not taking action.
You're not taking no action. So nothing's getting done, even the nice to know.
And so now it's 5 years later. And what are you doing? You know, and it's like when look at when you and I started the show. We just started the show. We knew nothing. We just started the show, and let's go down memory lane for a second. You know, it was the Happiness 101 show, and we just kind of came on. We didn't have sponsors except you. You know, it was we went live in the Diamond Factor experience. Mm-hmm. But remember, and I'm trying to think, his name, remember when his name was Lauren, I'll give him a plug for a second, Lauren Wise. He came on and he was like, well, ladies, you know what? Happiness 101, number one, you're not going to be able to rank for it in keywords. It's too common, and you need a unique name.
Yeah. Thank God for him.
Thank goodness for him. And so that's one of the things that Seek Wisdom. And we brought on guests that would help us. Let's be selfish for a second. We have brought on guests that have helped us grow.
Yes.
With ourselves.
Definitely.
Within ourselves. Just it's like, oh wow. Like when Emily came on and talked about our money mindset, she was amazing. I've taken some of her stuff that it was like, oh, you're right. Yeah, Barbara, why are you concerned about that? And it was the money piece of it. What was my money story?
Mm-hmm.
And that was such a thing. And then with Lauren, get your own identity. And that's when it was like, all right, what are we going to do? How are we going to get our own identity? Well, then Jenny came on and she said, well, why don't you combine the two things? Like my company name is Trends in Marketing Enterprises, which it spells out time.
Oh,
Barbara was the time to shine. It's her time to shine because she wants to shine everybody to shine like diamonds, the diamond factor to shine. Mm-hmm. And she said, why don't you combine your two things? And it was like, so that's where we're the time to shine.
Yeah, because when she said that, I said, that makes perfect sense. I'm sitting here looking because we had Michelle, Gunning on?
Yeah, the productivity. She was the productivity.
And look what I did. I bought her book.
Yay.
I bought her book, Get in the Habits. I'm telling you, 30-day guide to journaling to get things done and journal yourself. And see, now I would never even knew about this or got this to help me in my own life if we didn't have these wonderful guests come on and talk about what they do and their gifts and their services. So yes, very important. Very important.
And that's one of the things that I got out of Michelle was like do something every day. And so like I do a thing called morning pages. Mm-hmm. And it's and the thing is get in the habit of doing it.
Yeah.
And that's where it comes into seeking wisdom, be kind.
Getting out of the comfort zone.
And get out of your comfort zone. This is Be Kind to a Stranger Day. Here's the mom. And even, if you really can't get out, I will have one suggestion for you. There are people that you do there. I know everybody out there. I know that you have Facebook friends or LinkedIn connections that you do not know. Even if you get a little meme, find a meme that says, Be Kind to Strangers Day. There's probably somebody has created one. It's Be Kind to Strangers Day, and send it out randomly to just people that are on your Facebook page.
And you can cover a lot of people because like you said, if you have, I think 2,700 people on my personal page. So
on my
Facebook, I can hit at least 100 or what,
I've got 1,500 people on my LinkedIn page.
See?
I do not know them. So it's like, just do whatever it is, because it gets you out of your comfort zone, and then you don't. So just get out of your comfort zone. Do something you wouldn't normally do.
And then you never know. You might reach out to somebody that might be, you might start a conversation or, some kind of relationship building. Yeah.
So one of the, I know we have to go to break, but one of the things that I've been doing is I've been sending out birthday messages for people's birthdays, and you wouldn't believe the people that are coming back to me and say, hey, let's have a conversation, especially if they happen to be, if I'll look at their profile and just say, oh, this is somebody I want to know. Hey, do you want to chat?
Well, it's like, wait a minute, I need to get to know.
Oh, gee. And I'm going to tell, that's kind of how I met Karen. It was like, I flashed her, and it was like, oh, I need to meet this girl.
So wait a minute, how did I miss her?
Because you cannot possibly know. You don't know what you don't know until somebody shares with you something you don't know. Yeah. And that's you don't know who you don't know until somebody crosses your screen that you don't know. Oh, gee, I need to get to know her.
And you know what, Barbara, I'm so proud of you because you're using, the social media tool, as I can tell people, when names and stuff to meet the people that you probably should be meeting, and that's how you met Karen and a lot of other people. Because I know you do a lot of networking in LinkedIn. You're just you're just awesome in that area so much.
Oh, thank you. I'm learning, I'm getting out of my comfort zone, and I'm just, hey, you know what? Hey, do you want? It does not hurt to say, hey, would you like to chat? Either they don't answer you. Okay.
Keep moving. Yeah.
Or, but you know what? I have to say, lately, I have been getting people that said, oh, you know what? I'd love to, but right at this moment, I've got absolutely a full plate. And so then I just write back to them and say, hey, it makes my heart sing to have somebody say that that things are going well and that things are so busy. Whenever, if you would love to chat, I would love to chat with you. And they go, oh, okay. Start a relationship. Yeah. It doesn't have to go anywhere right now. You're not meeting somebody today and getting married tomorrow. Don't do that.
It's like the ring and everything. Let's go to the altar. Well, we're going to get to know more and more of this wonderful lady, Karen, but we got to go to our sponsors. And right after that, we will see Karen.
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been showing that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a Chemo Buddy for Life.
We are a Buddies Network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are Chemo Buddies for Life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
Ta-da! And we're back.
Good morning. Hi, Karen. How are you doing today?
Oh, I am awesome. Thanks so much for having me, Barbs. It's wonderful. It's so cool.
We are the BBs.
The BBs.
The BBs. I love it.
Yes.
It's all about getting up to shine and time. My goodness, like you say, time is the only non-renewable resource. So take advantage of it. And I can't think of anything that is more exciting than to have time to shine.
Yes. I love it.
Women, and Barb and I both feel that this is the time for women to shine.
Yeah.
We have got to get out from under our little bubble, our ego that says we're not enough.
The limiting beliefs that are absolutely drilled into us almost from the time we're born to let us know how we're supposed to behave, how we're supposed to act around certain people. And that is, it's taken me a lifetime to say, enough is enough. It's time to enjoy, time to shine, to be yourself. And oh my gosh, I wonder, does that only come from wisdom? I'm just so proud of the fact I finally feel like I have a lot of wisdom to share.
Yeah. And, and that's it. We were just talking about, wisdom, having wisdom and finding the people who have some wisdom, because you don't know what you don't know until somebody tells you something you don't know. When I first connected with you and it was like former people pleaser and self-doubter, I said, I need to know this girl.
Yeah, I read that too, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I definitely can't wait for Karen to come on." Because that used to be my history. That used to be like, "Oh my God!" It's like, "Oh, I feel you."
Enough is enough of that, isn't it?
And like, right, because like for me, I was brought up that nice girls don't do things like that. Nice girls don't want to build businesses. What? Nice girls get married and have children. Okay, I did that.
Yeah.
Now what? But now what?
Yep. And you know, it's great. You know, I was brought up to want to be a mom. That's what I wanted to be.
Right.
That's what I'm supposed to be, right? And like you say, in certain areas, women were never supposed to work. Their husbands took care of them, right?
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, for me, it was a case of at age 36, my husband had a heart attack. He's fine. He's fine. But it was a goodly heart attack. And all of a sudden it hit me. No, I have to rethink things, right? I have to think I might have to take care. I
was like, all of a sudden I see the tail come up.
The tail going back and forth. I love it. It just adds fun, and fun is number one. So
exactly.
You know, again, being able to have that knowledge, have your intentions for why you're doing something, and be aware of those intentions. Like you were saying, Barb, about somebody opening up their mouth and saying something at a networking event.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
What?
Karen, what? I was like livid. I was so upset. I couldn't believe she would say to that young lady or anybody. It just had, you know, that you're not going to do anything or be anything because you have a difference in what you do. That's,
and, you know, it's like saying we all have to dress alike. We all have to be alike and act alike. And and honestly, when I started in my work 20 years ago, that held me back because in fact, everyone in my world had a horrible trauma in their life, you know, sexual trauma, homelessness, sleeping under a bridge in the car. And I said, I never had those things. How can I be a coach?
Right.
What? And finally, 20 years later, I said, enough is enough. It's time to stand on my own. And yes, I had a great life, including my husband's heart attack. It changed our life. Yes, but it changed me and everything. If mine is my Karenism, I guess, is change your perspective, change your truth.
Absolutely. Ooh, like that.
And that often comes from, as you were saying, connection with others and being able to hear, not just listen, but hear what is being said.
Yes.
And I talk to people all the time that have different ways of thinking than I do. And it's wonderful to be able to sit there and say, you know, all right, I'm not sure that I agree, but I'm certainly open to looking at the possibilities that there is something we can agree on. If you're telling me accuracy, facts,
right,
I'll look into those facts and my perspective might change.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's where you're. Now, I want to just go back real quickly, Karen, about when you were saying that, you know, a lot of people, you know, through the different dramas they were dealing with, you know, sexually, homeless and stuff. And you grew up and you didn't really face all that. And you're in your mind saying, well, how can I, you know, and they're dealing with this and I haven't really dealt with that. And I have people come to me like that when they speak too, when they say, well, I'm a speaker and I don't really have like those tragical things, you know, how do I do? And I say, you know what, you're special in the area of helping people with that because you can look at the outside, you can give them a broader way of looking at things because they're so into, oh, I went through this and this and that. You didn't go through, but you can say, you know what, you went through that, but there's hope. there's, I dealt with this. We can be together. We can talk this through. So you're really basically that help person that comes into play when people are dealing with that, because you have that other ear to say, okay, you know what, you went through this, but there is hope at the end of this. Your gifts are in your stores and what you want. I mean, you can start reminding them of who they really are. So I'm glad, don't feel like, because a lot of people feel like, well, I have nothing to say. You got a lot to say. In fact, you're like the person that needs you, a person that needs you. So just to let you know that.
Well, thank you very much, Barb. I do know that, and it's really a good feeling, and I appreciate the validation. Validation is big in my world. It's always appreciated, and so thank you. Indeed, I had clients that came to me and said, "I wish I had your life." Well, you know what? You can.
Yeah,
right. It's all in the way you look at things. It's all in the way you respond. I remember my mom, I live in a very small town. We have less than 2,000 people.
Oh, me too.
Cool.
We're a little bit over 2,000 now.
You said a little bit. 2,000.
I tell you, when we connected, when Barbara and I connected, it was like, oh, I do too. Oh, yeah, I do too. We've lived the same life almost. It's so cool. It's so much fun because it is all how you look at it. And if you can change the way you look at something, and you might be saying, well, I'm putting my head in the ground if I don't look at this straight on. I tend to disagree. Yes, look at it, look at the facts, look at what you like, look at what you don't like. And make a decision to shift it. You have to make that decision. You have to create that intention for something better and not wallow in the stuckedness. And I think I always asked for signs. Right. Now, mind you, I was not a woo-woo girl in any way, shape, or form. Up until, probably 15 years ago. Now I'm total woo. Yeah. But it serves me very, very well. And I'm getting validation all the time, and I'm loving it, But even then it was like, okay, this is a story that you have created for yourself. What is another way of looking at it? What are the other possibilities? And that's another thing. If something occurs that I don't care for and I don't have the means at that moment to do something about it, I can always ask, what are the other possibilities? And like you were saying earlier, I was listening in on your pre-show here, but on your show before I came on, and looking at it and knowing what are the other possibilities is often the case that person is not in a happy place. And I know it isn't a case of believing. I know everyone on this earth was put here to be happy and prosperous. Yes. Every single person. And if we're not there, it is because we are not living the awesome life that we could. And it does require help. You can't do it alone. I was talking to somebody the other day, and it was more of a, rather than rejoicing in how far somebody came, and seeing how awesome it was that they went from down in the gutter to raising up and raising other people up with their wisdom and their wonderfulness. And rather than rejoicing in that, it was like, oh, but wait, look what they went through. Isn't that awful? Isn't that awful? And I said, I look at these people and I look at them as possibilities. Possibility. there was a fellow, I don't know, names escape me all the time. I apologize.
Me too. Me too.
Welcome to my world.
Thank goodness there are two Barbaras there. That's all I can tell you. But I heard about a fellow, he became the head, the CEO of Time Corporation, Time Magazine Corporation. And he had started in the gutters of Bombay, you know, running around, picking pockets, doing some horrible things. And he became the CEO. So to me, it's like, yes, anything is possible. Anything is possible. It's all what you are willing to, do, and the intention and the joy of achieving something better. Those are all things. Live your values, knowing your values, because and again, when I was starting out, it was, well, this is what you need to do to make a thriving business. And for years it was like, no, I'm yes, I've had a story that a lot of people looked at when I told it and said, oh my gosh, Karen, how did you get out of that? And I said, I didn't see any problem with that. I don't, you know, it wasn't fun at the time, but I'm not going to relish in the fact it was, what did I do to overcome it?
Right.
What did I do to move ahead? How did I try and change things? Because the possibilities are endless. And there is a comment of in Access Consciousness that I learned that I love. How can it get better than this? I don't know, but I can't wait to find out.
Exactly.
Always get better.
I love it, love it, love it. I was thinking about, Karen, when you were talking about people that, you know, they went through or dealt with something and now they, you know, overcame, and then some people came back and said, well, they still dealt with this and that, and how did, you know, and I'm thinking that in my mind, what popped in my mind was Disney. And I mean, I always tell people, watch the Disney story of how he came, Walt Disney, because you'll be like, what? I mean, think about it. He made money off of a mouse, out of a little mouse.
Right.
And the reason, and I don't know if you all know the story, you probably do, is how the mouse came into play is that he became homeless and he was in the back alleys and trying to get food. And he made a friend with the small mouse because he seen the mouse and he, you know, became his, you know, basically his little pet. And then when somebody was trying to tell him, okay, you need to get away from here, you know, because they thought he was like a robber or whatever, they killed the mouse. And he, after that, just took his heart, because that, to in his mind, that was his only friend, because he was just out there. And he created this character, Mickey Mouse, and then, well, we know the rest is history. So, you know, you have to look at the fact that we go through our things because, you know, it gets us to that path, like you said, Karen and Barbara, how we move on to get to where we're supposed to be. And then we have to look back and say, this was my journey. It had to happen because I got to this point. But you have to make the right decisions too while you're going through the journey too. And of course, you know, he did a lot of other people that dealt with different things in life. So yeah.
And don't beat yourself up for the decisions that were not quite right.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's it. It's
you know what I think that's what, don't you find, Karen, that you find people that do that, is that they get caught up in one decision that was maybe less than stellar, and they live in that decision. Let it go.
Exactly. And one of the things I was actually, when I started this journey, I don't know if we have a lot of time, but I started this journey when I was taking care of my parents, and it was a trial, to say the least. However, I had a lot of support from my brother and my husband. Bless them both. They kept me going, and my kids, they were great too. But many's the time, and I kept my sanity by learning coaching, going to school, and eventually becoming a master coach, which, by the way, I don't consider myself a coach now. I'm a mentor, because I can't deal with the idea that people have to suffer trying to pull things out of their own. That doesn't compute for me. But on the other hand, one of the things I learned in the coaching, when dealing with a difficult client, what you say to yourself is, at this moment in time, this person is doing the very best that they can, even if it's clear that they're not.
Right.
And so I turned that around on me. And when I started losing my temper with my parents and just getting so angry and frustrated and realizing later on that it was because I was losing the parents that I knew, and they had become something that I didn't care for. And I wanted them back.
Right.
But at this moment in time, I was doing the very best that I could, even if it was clear that I wasn't. And recognizing that we only have a choice in this moment, it's gone. In this moment, it's gone. And it allowed me, it gave me permission to change it, because obviously I was not in a happy place. I didn't like myself for the way I was acting and behaving, but by forgiving myself at this moment in time, I'm doing the very best I can, even though it's clear I'm not. It gave me permission to change it, because there's another moment that I can change almost instantaneously. And that saved me in 5 years taking care of them. That actually saved my life.
That is amazing, Karen. I'm loving how you took the time to say to yourself, okay, you're getting angry, but then you took the time to say, okay, there's a reason for this. I need to really look at this deeper, and went to yourself and said, well, I'm upset because I don't like how they, I want them back the way they used to be. My parents, my mother, my dad. But you realized it. See, a lot of people let that thing just fester and don't look at the fact that you got to go back in that mirror. And I think that's where a lot of us sometimes have that struggle and challenges to do that. And I've been pushing myself more and more every day to say, okay, Barbara, why are you angry? Why are you angry at this person? Or why are you going off or whatever? There's something there that you need to look at right now, because something's not right here. There's something missing, or there's a link or something. So when you can start analyzing yourself, like looking at yourself, that makes it much better. That's where you grow, and that's where you see things differently. So thank you for bringing that out.
Well, thank you. And that is something I learned early on. And some people do not agree with me, but it served me very, very well. I don't enjoy going deep, deep, deep. I don't believe in going deep, deep, deep. I believe in recognizing and looking at this level at this moment. And then if we need to, we can go a little bit further. But I like to clear that as easily and quickly as possible. And that is pretty much what I help my clients do, is clear those negative beliefs. But one of the things that I learned early on was we all have emotions. Emotions can occur from outside, but anger, if there is real anger inside of you, it is because there's something inside of you that you don't want to look at, that you don't like. Yep. And when it finally sunk in, whenever I started getting angry, I take responsibility, Karen. Let's take a look at this. What is making you so angry?
What's making me angry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had this a little bit of this type of conversation. That's why it is so important to bring it up.
Yeah.
It is not a conversation that will ever, ever, ever go out of style or get old.
Yeah.
Because it is such a pivotal conversation.
When
you're feeling an emotion.
Is.
What's going on behind it, especially the negative emotions? What's underneath it that is wanting to come to the surface?
Yeah, exactly. And
to the surface.
I remember one incident where again I was with my parents, and I I thought I had it all under control. I was so cool. I had it all together. It was wonderful. And then I heard something and I got so angry. And it was winter in New Hampshire. And I went outside and I started shoveling snow. And I got angrier and angry. I was shoveling snow. And finally I just said, Karen, why is this really bothering you? Why are you so angry? And I realized that I was losing control. And that was an eye opener. And the fact is, we can only control ourselves. We can't control anyone else. And we have to be able to let it go.
Yeah.
And when I realized, yes, I can control myself. I got the power. I got the wisdom. I can control myself.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, because I always tell people, and I know, Barb, we talked about this before, where I tell people, you control your peace. A lot of people say, well, they made me upset. They made me sad. They made it. And I tell people, I said, no, you. And people get upset at me. I mean, they get upset at me because I tell them, I said, no, because you can control how you feel, how you're going to interact. You got to set those boundaries within your life to say, you know what, you might be upset today, but it's not going to kind of spill over in my life right now. You're going to have to handle that. And, people are like, well, that's selfishness. I said, no, you have to protect your peace. You have to protect who you are. And if they're dealing with their issues, yeah, you can be there for them. But if they start seeping into, and then all of a sudden now you're upset, it went from the transferring, like I call it transferring of emotions. It's like, okay, they were upset, now they're happy. Now you're like, oh, and then you're trying to figure out, well, why am I upset now? I mean, this wasn't even, all of a sudden I'm pissed off. They're walking away, and you're like, okay,
it wasn't even your thing to begin with. It wasn't even your thing to begin with.
It's the energy that they've put out, and you've chosen to accept. And it's like, excuse me? So it isn't a case of reacting. They made me do it. That's a reaction. And changing it to, okay, how am I going to respond?
Right.
That's it, Karen. Exactly. I love that.
Yes. Oh, I love being with you ladies. We got to do this more often. I love it.
Yep. You'll have to join our panel sometime. You'll have to join our panel.
Oh. Yeah, on every first Thursday of the month. Yeah, we have a panel discussion Thursday night. So we definitely have to bring you on. You would be a wonderful asset to the group.
Oh, well, thank you. I would love to be part of that. Let me know more.
Yes. So, I mean, with, because we just have a few more minutes, but Karen, is there anything that you want to let the viewers know, anything special that's coming up, or something, how they can contact you?
Oh, thank you. Yes. Awesome Life Success is my business, and you can have an awesome life. And I would love to offer your listeners an opportunity to, especially if you're a coach and you're not making the six figures that you would like to make or more, that you can. We just need to get to the core of the issue. And I offer a clarity discovery session that we will get to the core of what is keeping you stuck and how you can get out of that stuckness. That stuckness is not a place to stay. So you just email me at Karen@KarenStultz.com, or hey, connect on LinkedIn. I listen to LinkedIn. I like LinkedIn. That's how Barbara and I met, and it's wonderful.
As soon as I saw your headline, it's like, I need to meet this girl.
It's time to stop being people pleaser and stop doubting yourself, because you are awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. And I'm going to put this out here. I want to make sure that people get at least your LinkedIn. So we're going to put that there. Show that right there. So yes, please reach out to Karen and LinkedIn. You just see the awesomeness she has and what she talks about, and it's just brilliant. I always tell people, I'm always a cheerleader to say, please reach out to our guests, because you come on, you give us our time to come on and talk about what you do and your gifts. I said, people, I tell people, if you can't use, you be like, well, I can't, I'm not really with, well, you know somebody. we know people, and you never know, that person might need Karen or myself or the other Barbara. So,
exactly.
so
and I need to thank you not only for having me on, but I made the mistake of listening to the news this morning, and I was not in a very good place. And just being with you ladies have lifted me, and it's made a time to shine be awesome. So thank you. Thank you so much. The rest of the day is perfect. And I don't believe in perfection, but as close to perfect as we can make it.
just like we said, you have to choose how you're feeling. And I'm glad that you switched that whole, because the news will, I tell people, turn on the news.
Not a way to start the day. Yeah. And I have lots of tools that I can do to release that negative energy around me so that I can have an awesome day.
Well, thank you again, Karen, for coming. And we had to bring you back on, Barbara. We have to bring Karen back on.
I love it. I love it. And I'd love to have you join me for my podcast. I think you ladies would be fantastic for the Awesome Life podcast that I have. So
we would love to.
Awesome.
Maybe come on together or separately or both. Let's split it out there.
Let's do a party.
It's always a party if we choose to make it one.
Isn't that the truth?
Make it fun. Fun is number one.
Fun is
number one. So before we sign out, Barbara, anything that's happening, any new things, that's happening with you?
Oh, I'm going to be starting. I don't know if I told you this. I would be starting a membership site. Just because, you know what, people need support and people need accountability. So, and, with Christmas coming and so many people are a little fluffier than what they want to be. And so let's get some help here to just reduce the fluff.
I like the fluffier.
I love it.
What I thought about the cat again. I don't know. The cat just popped in my head.
Exactly. Too. My cat. Yeah. If you're a little fluffier than what you want to be, then just let's chat.
Well, this is Thanksgiving week, and we just want to thank from Time to Shine, the BBs, and I know for Karen that we just want to give thanks to everybody. Have a very wonderful holiday and Thanksgiving. And just remember, like Barbara said, reach out, get out of your comfort zone, and just remind and be kind to somebody. Just send an emoji, whatever. You never know that's what's going to put a smile on their face and what they're going through when you do it, because you might be helping them get out of something that they really need to just go on the other side and say, you know what? I am happy and I need to move from that particular situation. So thank you again, ladies, so much. And we'll be on next week.
Thank you.
We have another guest, right, Barbara?
We have a guest. We do have a guest, and I'm hurt, and I should have done, but her name escapes me. Oh, I'm totally blank.
Well, we'll have it. We will definitely have
it. It'll be a fantastic show, no matter, because you only choose the best guests, right?
That's Barbara. That's Barbara. I gotta give her so much credit. She brings on so many awesome people, just like you, Karen. So yeah, we'll see everybody next Tuesday. And again, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.